has been in his office for a number of years, and the Ag Commissioner, to me, is one of the most interesting people in the discussions of marijuana. He's the guy, Ted Erickson, in 1976 or so?
79.
79, I knew that was close, but anyway, the Ag Commissioner then, for the first time, put in the crop report what he thought the value of the crop was, the marijuana crop.
Which one advances?
Which was exciting, and also he was chastised for it. And so it went back and forth that way, and our Ag Commissioner, Dave Bankston, did the same thing at a different time. And the relationship between the Agricultural Commissioner and the state and the Board of Supervisors and the ranchers and even the pot growers has been a very central but not highly publicized one. And I think you'll find Mr. Linegar's comments fascinating as he kind of walks you through some of the travails that his department has been in. And I've given him a provocative list of questions as well, and I don't know what he's going to do with them, so we're going to find out. But I think we'd like to start with Mr. Harrison here. So Jim, you have the floor.
I am Jim Harrison. I work for Mendocino County Environmental Health. I run the county's hazmat team, so we do respond to all kinds of incidents, overturned trucks, big rigs, tankers, that kind of thing. Actually, probably the most common thing I do is pick up batteries and waste oil on the side of the road. Seems like every wide spot is a dump nowadays, so I do a lot of that kind of stuff. But we're interested in the marijuana issue tonight. I want to say that what you're going to see are a lot of indoor marijuana grows, and what I concentrate on, what we do most of our work on, are big commercial grows. We're not talking about mom and pop here. We're talking about people that are damaging the environment and making a lot of money. There are also impacts made on the public lands, on outdoor grows, and on private lands, but not, you know, there are a lot of stuff going on the public lands. And it's just as important, it's just as much of a problem, but I spend most of my time on the indoor grows. It's not doing it. Okay. Which button do I need to push on this? Okay. There we go. Okay. This is the Hunt Ranch. It's 5,000 acres that straddles Highway 101 just north of Laytonville. The Hunt Ranch was quite a while ago, but it's pretty significant. There were 23 grows on the Hunt Ranch, and they were in all kinds of structures. This one's particularly interesting because it's I called it the Lodge. It's really a beautiful building, really well built. And that's what it looked like from the outside. When I went there, it had trampolines and bicycles and a lot of stuff to make it look like it was a regular family home. But in fact, when you walked in the door, what you saw was what's on the right there. These are grow lights up on the top here. There's a row of them. You can see there's probably about 25 lights down each side. There's also the same thing under each one of these. So there's probably about 100 lights in that one room, and there's 8 rooms, and they're all identical. They had 50,000 gallons of diesel storage capacity on the ranch, 10,000 gallons of gasoline. I took 33,000 gallons of diesel off-site. Most of it was stored in these plastic water tanks with plastic water lines, and ran anywhere from 10 feet to a quarter of a mile from the top of the hill where the distributor could access the tank down the hill to the generator. They accumulate a lot of waste oil. They run the generators 24 hours a day, typically 7 days a week. The generator has to have the motor oil changed in it every 300 hours or so. Do the math, about every week they're changing the oil. They end up with 10 to 15 gallons of waste oil every time they do it. Most of the time it isn't handled properly. It's a lot of times it's sitting outside in the rain with no lid on the bucket. This was the Iron Peak grow up on Spy Rock. Same thing, the whole top of that building was a grow. They watered the plants, overwatered them, whatever, and then completely just ruined the whole building below. The whole beautiful home down below was ruined. He had 6,000 gallons capacity on that ranch of fuel. At least he used steel tanks. That whole room there is full of waste oil. I think, yeah, it was over 1,000 gallons of waste oil in there. And that was probably handled much better than a lot of them do. This is another, I don't know, 300 gallons of waste oil. The disposal costs for the waste oil, the contaminated soil, taking the tanks all out and the diesel all out was $250,000. This is Foster Mountain, Salmon Creek. We took 200 truckloads of contaminated soil out of that one. Cost was $650,000. Bearpin Creek, Piercy. This building was 30 feet wide and 40 feet long. There were 6 of them. They had 7,000 gallons of fuel capacity. Diesel stored in water tanks with water lines, and every joint in this particular grow, there was a leak. At the fuel filter, there was a leak. There was a leak at the generator. There was such a flow of diesel fuel coming off of this place that it completely contaminated the water supply to 4 families downstream. He had 1,000 gallons of waste oil also. They use a lot of different chemicals, fertilizers, pesticides, that kind of stuff. They don't use them properly. I don't know. I haven't seen the thing that Tom was talking about of just dumping the fertilizers directly into a pothole in the stream, but I've seen a lot of other stuff that showed that they were not handling these chemicals properly. This Poon Kinney Grow, this building was actually built on the neighbor's property, and that's what it looked like inside that building. There were 4 rooms inside this building as well. They rotate the rooms because they maximize their generator that way. They have one room with 6 hours of light and one room with 18 hours or more of light. This is what it looked like after the Comet team got done with it. Had a 1,000-gallon fuel tank. It was leaking 3 or 4 different places. Waste oil. They had run the supply line